Welcome, everybody, and thank you all for coming this morning. I want to give a special thank you to the Howard University Color Guard, whom we've just seen. And I also would like to open this ceremony with a silent prayer in behalf of all of our women veterans who have suffered and those who have died, but in fact, in behalf of all of our veterans. So if we could all bow our heads for a moment of silence. Thank you. In the month of March, we take the opportunity to celebrate the many, many contributions and accomplishments of women throughout history. Women whose personal strength and courage broke barriers and bettered our world. Because we so often focus on many female trailblazers of the past, and even of the more recent past, we can sometimes lose sight of the fact that every day women continue to make history in our own communities, locally. And I can't think of a better way to honor the spirit of Women's History Month than to celebrate the service and tenacity of women who have served in the military and in our armed forces generally. That's why we're here today, to celebrate the first female veteran in the District of Columbia to be awarded a Purple Heart Medal for her service in Iraq, Specialist Antoinette Scott. We should have a little bit of applause for that. And I'll be presenting a ceremonial resolution on behalf of the Council of the District of Columbia, but I'd like to first invite Sergeant Anthony McKinney to speak and to set the context for what this medal actually means. Could you come forward, Sergeant?
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out, and also it's a fine occasion to celebrate Sergeant Antoinette Hawkins Scott. She served with the 547th Transportation Company in 2003, 2004 as one of our drivers, and she worked on several missions while we were over there. Our company was kind of tasked out, kind of thin, but we pretty much accomplished everything we needed to. And on one of Sergeant Scott's missions, she was hit by a roadside bomb, which is an IED. She took it pretty well to be a female, I must say. She was still pretty cheerful. We met her vector out of there, and she went over to Landstuhl, Germany, where she was cared for. Maybe after 4 months, I get a call from Landstuhl asking to speak to our commander or our first sergeant, because Sergeant Scott wanted to return back to the war zone. Well, since I was on the phone already and I let them know right off the bat that she would not be returned to the war zone, we only had 2 months left over there in Iraq, and they can go ahead and send her home and we'll meet her at our reception station. I've been serving with Sergeant Scott probably over 15 years. We started out the first company with the 140th Transportation Company. And it was a pleasure and honor, and I'm glad to be here today. Also to present her with an award that she didn't get a chance to get while she was over in Iraq because she got sent back home so early. It was a special mission with the 82nd Airborne 2nd Brigade. So thank you for having me here today, and thank you for honoring Sergeant Scott.
Sergeant Scott, would you come forward?
This award reads Outstanding Achievement while supporting 82nd Airborne and 2nd Brigade Division from June 2004 to July 2004. Support of Operation Scorpion Sting, Baghdad, Afghanistan.
I asked her not to go away because we have a council ceremonial resolution that I'd like to read for you now. By the way, my brother in a different war was in the 82nd Airborne. Just thought I'd add that. This is the resolution adopted by the council to celebrate and honor the accomplishments and service of Specialist Antoinette Scott, the first female veteran of the District of Columbia to receive the Purple Heart for service in Iraq. Now, when I say specialist, that counts as sergeant?
No.
No,
It's an E4.
I didn't think so.
It's E4, right?
Okay, but you're sergeant.
No.
No.
Those are errors.
Okay. You're a general as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Whereas, as the district has the utmost gratitude for all of the men and women who have and continue to serve our country in the armed forces, whereas the contributions and sacrifices of men and women who have been vital in maintaining the security and prosperity enjoyed by our citizens, whereas veterans receive the Purple Heart Medal as a result of being wounded while engaged in combat with an enemy force, construed as a singularly meritorious act of essential service. Whereas March is designated as Women's History Month and is the opportunity to recognize the contributions and sacrifices of women. Whereas SPC Scott is a native Washingtonian, a graduate of Dunbar High School, and worked as a nurse in DC General Hospital. Whereas SPC Scott is a native Washingtonian and a member of the military, and was a member of the military from 1996 to 2004 as part of the DC Army National Guard. She served in both Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. Whereas while deployed in Iraq, SPC Scott was operating a 5-ton cargo vehicle transporting soldiers to Baghdad International Airport when an improvised explosive device, an IED, detonated and her convoy came under enemy fire. Whereas although there were no casualties, SPC Scott sustained severe injuries and was immediately transported to BIAP Hospital for treatment. Whereas she survived the attack and became a lifetime member of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. Whereas she has dedicated her civilian life to the promotion of health and fitness within the veteran community and continues to serve the district and its residents as a volunteer Zumba instructor, we'll be doing that later, to women at the Unity Health Clinic of Kenilworth. And whereas the district seeks to honor and recognize veterans who are recipients of the Purple Heart Medal, resolved by the Council of the District of Columbia that this resolution may be cited as the Antoinette Scott Recognition Resolution of 2016, and the District of Columbia is grateful for Antoinette Scott's service and continuing commitment to health and veterans issues. The resolution will take effect immediately on the first day it's published in the DC Register. So I'd like to present this to you now. Thank you. And now I'd like to ask Ms. Scott if she'd like to say a few words.
Of course, I didn't have anything prepared, but I can always give thanks and honor to everyone who thought enough of me to have me to come out and be recognized in front of my family, my peers, and the powers that be who sit on the seats in the District of Columbia, whom we're not yet a state, but we are still in the fight. Yes. I always want to give thanks to my Lord and Savior because that day was very tragic for me, and it never leaves me. I think about it often, and in my thanks and my gratitude, I found many ways to give back because I am passionate about helping veterans and being a voice for veterans who just don't know all the benefits and resources that we have, and I'm in the fight for many more to come. There's so many opportunities that veterans have, that veterans before us have fought for, that veterans from our generation are still fighting for, and I am just here to serve. I can't leave without saying that I just want to take and give a moment of silence. We lost one of our very own, and I never want to forget Specialist Dent, who made the ultimate sacrifice when we were in Iraq. And if we can just take 3 seconds in a moment of silence for Specialist Daryl Dent. And to all of the other soldiers who have fallen, who made the ultimate sacrifice. I will not stand here and try to name any names because I would feel so embarrassed to leave out any, but I will name one, and that is Ms. Glenda Richmond. She has worked tirelessly to make sure that no matter what, she was going to make this day happen. This day is very, very special because in this month, it is the month of women's history, the month of March. And so she was not going to let the month of March close out without her being a part of making history and seeing to it that I was recognized from 13 years ago. It's never too late. She wanted a general of someone or someone with a certain rank to be able to present me with my award, and I told her she is the general. So it didn't matter who gave me the certificate or who read the resolution, as long as it came from her or someone that she was satisfied with, then I was satisfied as well. So with that, I'm going to close out and say thank you again.
I wish I could have extemporaneous remarks that are so wonderful. Thank you very much for that. And by the way, as I said, you are the general, and in any case, I don't know that the general could have had such good hugs. So we're happy to be able to provide this to you and to honor you, which we do today. Now, that finishes the ceremony here, but for those of you who are the family and so on, we're having a little reception upstairs in the chairman's conference room, which is on the 5th floor. And so we will end this for now, but we'll see you upstairs. Thank you all.